It gives me great pleasure and a sense of privilege being here with you today. Many of us here are young, some of us are a little older. And what strikes those of us who are a little older is the speed of transformation in the world, the speed at which things have changed, are changing before our eyes, and the almost revolutionary, radical changes that are happening in different facets of life: economic activity, productive activity, education, literature, art. As an ancient civilization, as an old culture, when our generation was young, we were convinced that tradition and whatever we had inherited it through tradition was perfect. I mean, this was just the right way of looking at things, doing things, and we gave great deference to whatever was in trusted tradition and different strands of our civilization. The post-independence period has led to India's pursuit of modernity and modernization. And today I think we are at the cusp of a real transformative takeoff. So all the hard work that went into the freedom struggle and the first few decades after independence has now brought about, I think, that critical mass or that ecosystem which can really transform India beyond recognition in the next 10, 15, 20 years. Why do I get that sense of confidence? You look at the decade of the 90s, and in the days I used to be secretary DIPP, I used to joke with people overseas that we are sui generis, and we seem to succeed in the toughest things first, and we'll succeed in the easiest things last. And they said, what do you mean? Well, I said, we were the first to have a film industry which was in the volume of production and the audience had rivaled Hollywood. Nobody else in the world had been able to do it. In the 90s, we succeeded in the world of IT software, where again nobody expected us to succeed. I remember early 90s, even in our own economic media, people would be very skeptical about the hype around IT. Then we succeeded in sending a mission to the moon at 1/6 the cost of the last mission to the moon. And I think the last thing where we'll succeed is keeping our streets clean and our cities clean. But we are in some ways sui generis. Then if you look at our distinguished and very talented young leader who spoke before me, he represents in some ways what gives many young Indians confidence, because when see young Indians doing so well in the rest of the world, then you feel that if he could do it, why can't I? And I mean, if you go to the US, take any frontier area, and now the frontier area includes journalism and TV anchors. Amongst the brightest 50, 100, there will be some smart young Indians. When the global crisis occurred, then there were lots of bright Indians bringing the economy. The population was about 25% along with China, and our share of global GDP was also 25% along with China. It is the Industrial Revolution that changed all that, and we were even more unfortunate because we got colonized, and so we also got colonized in our minds, and we got convinced that we were perhaps not good enough. And that has taken some time to change, and these 50, 60 years of independence has transformed that. And I will again illustrate this with a somewhat trivial anecdote. My parents' generation was genuinely convinced that the white man is superior. Those of us who were talented thought we could be good enough, and if we met a white man, our accents would become better, and we tried to show what we had read or what we knew. Today's youngsters, even in India, as you'll be seeing them, they think they're the best in the world, and then I try to tell them you're not the best, you have to work very, very hard to actually become good. Now today we are looking at leadership change and transformation. Just a couple of thoughts on that. In the world in which I have been, which is governance and administration, and people have served as political leaders, and one accepted maxim in this world is politics is the art of the possible, governance is the art of the possible. Now leaders are those who change the frontiers of what is possible. What distinguishes a genuine leader from somebody who is holding high office or has succeeded in the hierarchy is a genuine leader is one who is able to push the frontier of what is thought as possible and then makes it happen. And this is what leads to great transformation and great changes. And the good news is that I see a lot of leaders emerging in different walks of life in India. This again, brilliant young man is one of those. And it is this pool of talent which I think will genuinely transform India over the next 10, 15 years. And here we have a genuine advantage. And I would say that we derive this advantage from what is actually being perceived in the last few weeks and months as a disadvantage. And I see this advantage is flowing from the fact that we have such a vibrant democracy, rowdy, noisy, difficult at times. We have such a lively media, and we have succeeded in what our first Prime Minister, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, was very fond of repeating in his speeches all over India as a teacher, that learn to question critically. I'm privileged to be here where we will be recognizing outstanding leaders who are really pushing the frontiers of the possible and making the impossible possible. Thank you once again for being here.
What we carry back is how in every sphere of life we are hungry to know more and more, speak more and more, and really grow more and more. With this thought, I would now request our Mr. V.S.K. Sood to present a memento to our chief guest. May I request Dr. C. Rajkumar to present a memento and an award to guest of honor His Excellency Dr. Ahmed Salim Saleh Al-Janishiti. This award is JGBS Top Rankers Excellence Award for promotion of bilateral relations between native countries. The award, I repeat, is JGBS Top Rankers Excellence Award. Yeah. This is JGBS Top Rankers Excellence Award for promotion of bilateral relations between native countries. May I request Mr. V.S.K. Sood to present gifts to Dr. C. Rajkumar, please. Mr. Sood to Dr. C. Rajkumar. As we move forward to the awards function, let's take a pause and let's get to know Top Rankers Management Consultants a little more better, a little more closer. Let's see a quick AV on Top Rankers Management Consultants, ladies and gentlemen, on the projector screen. And allied services, personal audit, employee welfare and counseling organization development, general management as well as organization strategy, performance appraisal, TQM and benchmarking, manpower placement, and headhunting.
Mr. V.S.K. Sood, the founder and the CEO of the Top Rankers, is an HR professional with over 30 years of experience. He has an excellent track record of handling critical assignments in the field of training and development, designing and implementing appraisal systems, organizational studies, and restructuring in job evaluation, designing compensation plans, manpower rationalization, redeployment, personal audit, industrial relations strategies, and employee welfare and counseling.
By the tigers. The feeling came, yes, we can do it. एक जबरदस्त एहसास था कुछ कर गुजरने का.
The Top Rankers, one and the only one-stop solution for all top-ranking companies in India and abroad.
The more said, the lesser it is for him. In the contemporary academic world, Dr. Preetham Singh is considered as one of the global gurus in the area of leadership. As a scholar, he effortlessly integrates Occidental thought with Oriental wisdom. He's a profound thinker with great mastery at integrating thought with action. He's an outstanding scholar leader combining both the wisdom of architecting strategies as well as executing them excellently. He's a Midas such leader having the distinction of shaping the formation of IIM Lucknow as well as giving direction to schools like Administrative Staff College of India and IIM Bangalore to become holistic business schools. Above all, he's a turnaround director, and this was demonstrated admirably in the case of both MBI Gurgaon and IIM Lucknow. In his 45 years of career as a management professor, he has mentored around 200 CEOs and organized 50 board-level workshops. While working at ASCI, he had the rare honor of organizing and directing retreats for the central ministries and secretaries Government of India as part of the initiative by late Sri Rajiv Gandhi to inculcate the passion of transformation among ministers and secretary-level bureaucrats. He has worked on boards of more than 100 companies and academic institutions. Dr. Singh has authored 7 books, of which 3 are award-winning. He has published around 70 research papers in both national and international journals. He is a well-known speaker, having addressed various Indian and global audiences, including chambers of commerce in various countries, notably Holland, France, Germany, Greece, Russia, UK, USA, Thailand, Mauritius, Egypt, etc. He is the only Asian who is on the board of Association of MBAs, which is one of the most prestigious accrediting bodies for management schools globally. The breadth and depth of his contribution to the field of management and management education was acknowledged by the Government of India in 2003 by conferring on him the prestigious Padma Shri. In 2006, the Moscow International Higher Business School, the #1 management school in Moscow, honored Dr. Preetham Singh as the 19th Global Thought Leader.